Hi everyone, this is Dagmar Gatell, and this Plab show is something very special to me. It's not part of my series. Annie was so great to reach out and say, hey, do you want to do a Plab together? And because I'm learning so much from him that I was pretty excited about it. And the topic I suggested to him is SEO and the value of SEO in inbound marketing, because he's really the expert for this, and I'm excited and ready to learn a lot. So before I ask Annie to introduce himself and tell us a little bit more about him, because I assume everybody knows him, but I still want that he shares something perhaps he never said before. So a little bit about myself, just quickly. I'm Dagmar Gatell. I'm an SEO expert, coach, and strategist, and I'm very specialized in helping entrepreneurs and subject matter experts to grow their authority online and become the SEO expert in their field, become the expert in their field, in their niche. So you can see, Annie, I'm already a little bit excited to interview you and ask you the questions, but let's get ready. So share with us. So what's your background? Why did you start the company? I saw you're a co-owner, right? So what was it all about that made you becoming the great expert and the great resource?
Well, I started doing web design in January of 2000, and right after that, after we launched a few sites for a few clients, I realized that I needed to understand search and understand analytics or measurement. This was before Google had finished growing their dominance online, and it was before there was Google Analytics. So in the very, very beginning, I had to I had to learn analytics using web trends. This is 15 or 16 years ago, so it's a long time ago.
I can't barely imagine.
Yeah, times were very different then. And that was before content. So I've been doing analytics and SEO since 2000. I've been doing content marketing, SEO, or content marketing, social media, blogging, email marketing since 2008 or 2007. So we attract an audience by publishing, and so I had to learn very quickly how to be a good teacher and how to share useful information and how to create content that ranks and teach other people how to do the same. So it's really just, there wasn't a class I took. It was all just learned sort of one challenge at a time. Yep, learning by doing, learning through research, learning by finding the right people to listen to and follow and collaborate with. So it's great. It's been good. It was just a long path. I'm 43. So Generation X, right? We are self-taught. There weren't classes for these things in college, in the mid 90s. That just there wasn't really, internet anything yet. I finished high school in 1990, so I'm old. So I learned by being practical and hands-on.
Good for you. I wouldn't say you're old. I'm older than you are, so I wouldn't say you're old. What I see today is a lot of the people who study digital marketing, and not everybody, but a lot of people, they are geniuses in information. But what I see, it's the practice. You have to execute the things, you have to test it, you have to analyze it, you have to tweak it. There's nothing. In my experience, there's nothing you do from the beginning right. And it's really, for me, are experts who talk the talk and walk the walk and really do it. And then,
I agree.
And that's why I love your post, because I can see in your post that you do it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's really great. It's a great resource, and you're just a great authority.
Well, thank you. I think the two most important skills are empathy, which is understanding your audience, and psychology. Yeah, that's the most important skill for marketers. And then resourcefulness. Let
me tweet this, because that's a gold nugget.
Empathy is the greatest. So the classic startup company has two people. The person who solves the problem, which is like the hacker, and the person who connects to the market, which is like the hustler. So this is like Apple or Hewlett Packard, or every company, right, has a hacker and a hustler. The greatest skill for the hustler is empathy. The great skill for the product person or service person is resourcefulness. So if you can learn those two things, if you have those two philosophies, if you're a lifetime learner and you're dedicated to your craft, then you'll find that those are the two most important mindsets, and those lead you toward greater results as time goes on.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. And this morning I was in a SEMrush chat, and the CEO was there. and he talked about how to build a rock marketing team, right? And he spoke about that you for sure need to be an expert in what you do, but you also need to understand everything around you. And you need to understand how does your SEO influence the sales and the email marketing and the social media. So what you just said with empathy, that's for me empathy. Like you need to be open-minded enough to go away from SEO is everything to see it's an element. So how can this element strengthen the other elements? And for that, you have to know what is it, what makes the searcher do things in the first place.
Yeah, SEO is definitely not everything, because if you're very good at SEO, you might rank, but ranking isn't traffic.
Right.
Not necessarily.
No, absolutely. It's not.
And traffic isn't leads, not necessarily. I mean, if you work backwards from your ultimate goal of generating demand, then you need two things. You need traffic and you need a conversion rate. So the conversion rate is about great web design and psychology and calls to action and using evidence. And traffic might be, of course, about ranking. But, rank. So why do you rank? Well, there's two reasons: authority and relevance. Authority is about who's linking to you and how much credibility your website has. And relevance is about choosing and using keywords. So why do sites have relevance? That's about relationships. Relationships about networking. It's about connecting with people. It's about giving before you get. It's about caring for the people in your network, networking with content creators. So SEO ends up being like this little piece in the middle. There's like all the relationship and networking that leads to links, that leads to rank, that leads to traffic. The traffic, you still have to convert them. So I think SEO sits in between social media, online networking, and conversion optimization, turning that visitor into a lead. It's kind of that middle piece in the middle. It's definitely not everything. A great SEO is very weak unless they have a broader skill set, a bigger understanding, maybe a bigger team.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said I could disagree with you in advance. So, and I saw the graph. I totally agree with how you just described it, right? So what you just said about ranking, what's interesting, and that's where I have the most discussions with my clients when I do SEO, because they believe every keyword is great. And it's not like if you have a keyword and you have a demand of 5 people a month and you're ranked #1, how good is it? It's not. So it totally what you said, like ranking has no meaning if the other elements, if you don't have enough traffic, the traffic you can convert with your content, with your product, with your opt-in, whatever. So for me, really, and just SEO is my love. So what I see online, and it comes back to where we talked about it before we started recording with the manatees, right, and everything. It's all about people are online, they want to find something. They're looking for answers, they're looking for solutions, they're looking for a product, they're looking for services. And sometimes they're in social media and they're not searching with a search term, but they're still looking for something. And that's really what SEO is for me, that the search engines want to make sure whatever is my intent to be online, they want to fulfill. And it's already going in the direction with smart content. Like you see already the snippets on many of the searches coming up first so that you wouldn't search further. Or also I read yesterday about what was interesting, I never thought about that, search session where somebody's looking for whatever, vacation, Costa Rica, and they go through different search levels. So they use different keywords to search for something and then end up perhaps in Puerto Rico because their intent was just to have vacation in the sun and not really Costa Rica. So I totally agree with you from the ranking perspective, from SEO perspective. For me, what I see, it's a seed, what everything started. And then when I have the content, when I show what I share, what is my message, what is my gift, then others want to connect with me because they want the same, or I feel like personally connected with you. You have the same mission or the same vision.
Yeah, I like that word gift.
Yes, I like that too.
I have, when I teach keyword research, I try to explain to people that there's really two kinds of phrases. there are, I call them question marks and dollar signs. The intent of visitors is very different for different types of keywords. And everything that you've ever searched for in Google is either you're looking for something that you know that you want, Costa Rica vacations, you said, you're ready to take action. You want to go on a trip for sure, right? Why would you search for that? That's your intent. Or you're doing research, right? Costa Rica vacations is more like a dollar sign keyword. It's a buyer related, money related, potentially targeted visitor, high converting phrase. But vacation packing list, top rated beach sandals, places to get a tan, best spring break locations. These are all question mark phrases.
Absolutely.
So there's people. So the phrase indicates whether the person is looking to spend money and ready to buy or hire someone or purchase a product, or if you're just researching and looking around. And so we target these types of phrases and we attract these types of visitors by making different types of pages. I believe that every search optimized page is either, trying the desired outcome for the website owner and for the visitor is either a lead or customer, or it's a newsletter subscriber. So someone looking for, a vacation packing list, they're not going to buy your Costa Rica vacation, right? Don't try to sell them a vacation.
Right.
But what they might do is download something and give you an email address. And so the desired so there's sales pages that attract dollar sign keywords and convert visitors into leads. Then there's blog and content marketing pages that rank for the question mark phrases and might convert the visitor into a subscriber.
Yeah.
So I believe that smart websites are constructed with two types of pages, targeting two types of phrases, attracting two types of visitors with two types of conversions.
Absolutely. Like I read, perhaps the numbers changed since then, but it's like, if you think about it, 75% of our traffic to the website is researchers.
Sure.
Like it's only 10 to 15% shoppers or buyers. So people are not ready to buy anything from us, or most of them are not. So you need to have whatever irresistible offer or an opt-in to convert them. And in my experience, the opt-in needs to be keyword relevant too, because you cannot have an opt-in. Sure. Like if you have a website focused on Costa Rica vacations and the opt-in has nothing to do with anything traveling, then people will not opt in. So that's really where I see why the SEO goes like a red line through the inbound marketing. It's really what we said, the intent, what is the mindset, what is the outcome they're looking for, and what you said about the keywords, how I use the different keywords like the informational or the transactional or the commercial one, right? So I really think about what is my purpose with the page, if it's a service page or if it's a product page, or is it an answer page to a question that my target market or my client's target market has. So I start first, what's the purpose of my page? And then I look for the keywords, because most of the educational keywords, their profitability is so low. So you can attract a lot of traffic, but you can not fast convert them into a sale. So you want to have a mix, right? Of these.
Yeah, your best chance is to convert that person into a subscriber. And to do it with like you said, that's a great way to describe it, a keyword focused offer. Yeah. So this is, you can see I have my analytics. I have 12 visitors right now. Only one of these visitors is on a sales page. All of them are on blog posts. Yeah. For me, it's about 80%. Absolutely. About 80% of the visitors to my website are they're not in the bottom of a sales funnel, but really, so then this gets to the question, like, so I make money when people search for Chicago web design, and they say, oh, this company can build my website, and they hire us to become a lead. Scott's on the website now. So if you want to come to, if you want to rank number one for Chicago web design, Chicago e-commerce, Chicago WordPress web design, Chicago web development, is it possible to rank number one for those really valuable phrases without having all the content marketing content? Would we have enough authority? Would anyone have linked to us You need a domain
Mhm.
authority of around 50 to rank #1 for Chicago web design.
Because of the demand.
The,
Because if
co-
you
the competition is crazy.
Right, in your case, right? So I have clients there in South Florida, and normally I don't do local. Normally I only do global, help global entrepreneurs to reach a global authority or go to expert. And I have few who want both. So they have a global website and they have a local website. And the demand in the city in South Florida is so little that they really could get it by just having, and that's what I love on SEO.
Right.
The site structure is right. We have the homepage is right, the service pages are right. They have like once a week a blog post, and for sure we have a Google Plus local page and reviews and pictures and everything. So the beauty, what I find, the beauty of SEO is not only seeing the number, but understanding the opportunity and understanding what's behind it. Like, I'm totally agreeing with you. Chicago, like, God, it's huge demand, huge competition. You need to have a really, I would say, sophisticated inbound marketing strategy to win this over, where in other cases it's much easier. But you need to know how, and need to know what makes a difference.
Right. Well, my theory is, so let's say for you, if you want to grow a big company and sell $1 million in services or $10 million, whatever your goal is, and you want to rank for, let's say, Orlando inbound marketing, Orlando SEO, the difficulty for that keyword in a tool like Moz is probably 40 or 50 or 60%.
Easy.
Yeah. So how do you rank #1 for Orlando SEO? You really have to have a giant library of super high value content that people all over the world link to at least 3-4 times a week. It's the only way. So
absolutely.
So if you want to attract and if you want to rank for the $ phrases and attract a targeted buyer for a very valuable phrase, the only way to do it is to publish so much high value content and promote it with a giant network of people and attract links all the time, or else you'll never win for those phrases. So I think that the value of the title of our blab, which I love, is the value of SEO and inbound marketing. You could also say, what's the value of inbound marketing to SEO? You really could never win. You could never win a top ranking for $1 million phrase without a mini version of Wikipedia for your industry.
No, you cannot. And yesterday I had a conversation with a client, and for me, I don't go into the local niche. I want to set up and create global topic related websites where I get my leads and my clients, because that's the direction where I want to go. They said to me they had an offer from an SEO company for $7,000 a month. They would bring them traffic and leads to their high-end South Florida attorney agency they have there, right? Oh, it's all about what do you want, right? Yeah, okay, you don't need then inbound marketing perhaps, but as soon as you stop paying the $7,000 a month, everything is gone and you start from scratch. You have nothing. So is that really how you want to build something? This is not an authority. This is just a lead generation website.
Oh, so when you pay the $7,000 a month for those leads, what do they do? It's advertising? Is it pay-per-click?
No, they built another website, which is totally keyword focused. If they do black hat SEO or not, I don't know. And they push this other website where you get your leads from. And as soon as you stop paying, the website is gone. All the social media accounts related with this website is gone, and they sell it to the next one.
So that's like, they call it rank and rent.
Rent and rent.
Yeah. So they rank them and then they rent those leads. They rent that site to someone. I met a black hat SEO 2 weeks ago. He sat right there. He was in my office, and it had been years since I met someone like this. And it was really interesting to hear him describe it. He didn't think it was unethical. He was like, well, it's about PBNs. You know what that is? I'm like, wait, what? Private blog networks. You pay the money, not the bad ones, only the good ones. You pay the money, and they put links all over the internet for you. I'm like, he described it as gray SEO. He thought it was gray hat SEO. I'm like, that is the definition of black hat SEO. And I called him out on it, and he didn't disagree. But when I challenged him, but basically, yes, rank and rent is a common black hat SEO tactic right? Where they don't care about the authority or the reputation of a site because it's a temporary site. They build a little
Right.
site, they build some keyword focused content, they set up the social media accounts, and then they pay money to private blog networks to get hundreds of links. And that site might rank for some Orlando, personal injury attorney.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. They just sell the lead. So it doesn't matter if it gets blacklisted. They're not
Right.
invested in the reputation of the brand.
Right. And that's for me the main difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't work with entrepreneurs who want to do this because they will never be an authority. They always want to have it fast and cheap. And
Right.
the real value of SEO is to build something long-term, because I want that my clients and myself, I want to make money with my online presence for the next 10, 15, 20 years. So, and it builds up over time. And that's really where I see inbound marketing being so valuable to SEO, or SEO to inbound marketing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see one existing without the other.
I totally agree. And in my blog, if you noticed, the category for SEO content is content marketing and SEO.
I saw that.
I don't make a distinction. You can't do SEO without content. I just don't understand people who think that it's possible. So I'm a believer. I think that you actually can target. It'd be fun to work on a project together. You can target big money, $1 million phrases that deliver super targeted visitors who take action and spend a lot of money, or who, spend the $7,000 a month, for a service. Mm-hmm. But you can only do it if you build up a big family of content around that keyword focused hub. So you have to be really good. It takes thousands of hours, but once you do it, you generate leads every day. I mean, we generate leads. I'll show you today. The lead generation on my site this is like year number 8. So it's been a long time. That was Tuesday. Tuesday, there were 22 conversions on the website. That's a lot.
Cool. That is a lot.
Yeah, probably 7 leads and 15 newsletter subscribers. That's yesterday. Today, there have been these are new leads to the site. 5 leads today.
Cool.
For web design, but a lot of those are bad, Dagmar. I should be honest. There's like at least half, maybe 2/3 of those leads are just crap. They're just.
But that's normal, Andy. Like, there's never a 100% lead. What I find fascinating. Is that how I say that in English?
Fascinating. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So because your newsletter is really a newsletter sign up. It's not like other online marketers who have something very specific, 5 tips to, 7 secrets of. So you get your newsletter signups with the authority you are, clearly.
Well, we promise to deliver high value content, and we try our best.
You do.
And it's only every 2 weeks, so it's not like a lot of frequency. But the newsletter has grown a list. I'll be honest, though, it's not. We don't really see, although the total number of subscribers has increased. There's like 11,000 subscribers now, but it's the total number of visits from each newsletter is like less than 1,000 and doesn't really ever go very high above 1,000. I don't know how to increase that number.
Oh, it's in my experience, and let's read through the chat box for a few seconds in a minute. So in my experience, I don't care how much traffic somebody gets if it's not relevant traffic. And I don't care how much relevant traffic you get if you cannot convert it.
Right.
So if you have whatever newsletter subscribers and they all come and read your blog post and they are willing to work with you in one or another way, isn't that a perfect scenario?
Sure. Yeah. I love them.
And that's what it is. Like, it's so difficult to convert masses or to convert broad keywords. And it's also tricky if you have only researchers coming to your site. They love your content, but they never will work with you.
Well, I'm okay with that, though, because if we build a family of content and we have newsletter subscribers and social media followers and a network of bloggers who link to us, that increases the domain authority.
Yes.
To help us rank for the money phrase. We're actually in a very leads for web design. They're kind of transactional. People don't spend very much time. They'll visit 5 pages in 2 minutes and fill out the form. Visitors to the blog, they'll visit 1 page in 5 minutes and then leave.
Okay, interesting.
So there's very few people who come to read the blog and then become a lead. There's really they're almost 2 different audiences.
Yeah, they are 2 differences. So you really attract the people interested in your content, linking to you as an authority, which helps you in your rankings, which helps you getting better leads.
Exactly. That's it, exactly. There's no overlap in the audiences, but you can't get the second audience without building a giant group for the first. Right. So, see, the thing is, we only do websites for 95% of our clients are in Chicago. So
that's perfect. Then you get all the local citations.
Sure, right. But people who think that, they'd say, why are you on a blab with an SEO marketer in Florida? Andy, that's stupid. It's a waste of time. Why would you, that sounds crazy, right? It's not crazy at all. This is exactly how to end up. There's hundreds of tiny actions that you take that indirectly will help you rank for that phrase, the buyer related keyword.
Absolutely. Wasn't that, what is his last name? Gary Vaynerchuk, the wine guy? Mm-hmm. He said he would never refuse to speak anywhere, because if it's only one person who could be the one he needs to get to know, which brings him to his next level, then it was totally worth it. Yeah. And that's how it is. Like, there's a reason, I believe there's a reason for everything. Like, everybody who's listening to us, everybody who's learning something, or they just have an aha moment that they already knew everything. It doesn't matter. It's still meant to be, and it will put something out. And if it's just to do ethical inbound marketing and do the right thing, serve your clients in the right way, it really doesn't matter, but it puts positive energy out, and I believe it comes back to us in one or another way. Yeah,
but the point you raise is interesting, and it's a topic that most people don't talk about. But what about lifestyle? I mean, once you learn how to write an article that ranks high for a popular phrase, and you can do that anytime you want, how often should you do that? Most people would say, well, do it every day, do it all the time. But then, when do you decide? Yeah, I mean, if you, like Gary Vaynerchuk, if you say yes to everything, isn't this a problem someday? Like, I work 11 hours. This is going to sound stupid. This is a confession. I work 11 to 12 hours a day. I spend so much time working, especially on weekends. I have somehow damaged my thumb. There's a tendon in my thumb that is swollen, and I'm taking medication for it. I'm wearing a brace on my hand. Yeah. From doing 11 and 12-hour days every day, doing blogging and email. When is it stupid? I mean, when does the lifestyle come back into balance? Yeah, it's not.
I heard another interview with him with somebody else, and they spoke about, you can feel when it's the right thing to do or not. Like, you feel it in your tummy. Like, we connected, we wanted to do the blab together. Perhaps with other people, you feel it's not the right time or not the right connection. So I don't say you should say yes to everything, but I want to say yes to everything what feels good to me, what feels like an opportunity and makes sense to what I want to do.
Yeah, we have to be discriminating at some point, because if I said yes to every person who asked me to write a guest post for them, it's just exhausting. There's too many people who ask for so many things, and it's just, I'll get like 200 emails a day, and there's so many opportunities. So I understand Gary Vaynerchuk's idea to say yes to everything, but I also just sometimes get exhausted.
Yeah, I think and then let's read the chat because it's interesting. I just think if you can hold it in balance and do what you feel good about it, and then that's all what it takes.
Yeah. There's someone. So Chuck in the chat has got an interesting little anecdote there. That's a big number. So he says this: it's quality, not quantity. One of my companies, Chuck must have may be a serial entrepreneur. One of my companies was paying an SEO firm $12,400 per month. And after listening to the hundreds of follow-up calls and realized that the lousy quality of the leads of the company services, then the company services were abruptly terminated. Smile. As was the marketing person who agreed. Now we rely on organically generated leads and enjoy a very high ROI.
Perfect. I love that.
Yeah, it's not lead generation. I think actually this raises an interesting question. Like, what is a lead? You know, like these HubSpot marketing automation people who consider everything to be a lead. Any form submission is a lead. They call it all leads.
Yeah.
But not every form submission is a lead, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So there's leads and there's good leads, and then there's just random form submissions that do nothing for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you see the other chat comment? Andy, it's more of your business word of mouth now.
Yeah. So, Scott, I appreciate that question. Word of mouth, I have a theory that for our industry and our price point, we got to about $1 million per year through referrals. Just proposing and meeting people and networking and trying to build relationships offline, and gradually got and meeting agencies and reselling our services through agencies. But it wasn't until we began to rank and pull in a targeted visitor and convert those visitors that we generated leads more passively through content marketing, which helped a lot. And then we got up to about $5 million. I think we're hitting a ceiling here. This is another interesting topic. There's a ceiling with search.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so many people who search for that phrase every day. And you can't rank higher than number one. There's a limit to each key phrase, right? So social media has no limits, right? There's 1 million people might share something tomorrow, but there's only X number of people who will search for Chicago web design tomorrow.
Let me ask you something, because that's what I see. Agree or disagree from your experience. So there's a huge difference between a keyword and a search query, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look into Google Search Console, you can see that all the different search variations or search queries for your main keyword. So is there a limit? I would say there's a limit for a local service there. I don't see that there is a limit for a topic related website, because a topic related website, you could have endless search queries bringing you the traffic. Like, I understand that with the service part.
Well, how many people, let's just say you and I live in Africa and we do veterinary services for exotic animals. And we are the greatest search marketers in the world. And we attract 100% of people looking for exotic animal veterinary services in Africa. That's not, there's a specific number, right? It's not 1 billion people looking for that. It's there's a limit, right? On the other hand, if we share a picture of, baby hippos from our African veterinary clinic, there is no limit to the number of people who might share that picture. Have you ever seen the analytics for viral marketing events? It's crazy. It's like, oh my God, search, if you can rank number one for every phrase in your industry, and you will max out because you are not affected. There's only X number of people who are looking for you.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The only thing is, as an example, you used another, and for me, it's a local service when you say that, veterinarian service in Africa. If you would say for elephants in Africa, right? What I see, so more it's topic related, it broadens up unbelievably. If it's a service, then yeah, I totally agree with you. It's limited because there are only so many people look for the service. But as soon as you go in the topic, like elephants in Africa could end up with elephants in India and could end up with elephants in the US zoo, because everything is related with the intent again. People love animals. People want to take care of animals. They donate to the causes. So what I see, and that's why I love doing topic related keywords. So that's, it's just broader.
That's what I called the dollar signs and question marks. The ceiling there's a ceiling that's much lower for dollar sign phrases, for buyer related keywords and queries. But yeah, I mean, the numbers are much, much larger for the question marks or the research phrases or the topics. But I'm not sure how relevant it is, but the topic I was thinking about, I wrote about this one time. There is, in search, you can only capture 100% of the people who are interested in that. That's the
Right.
maximum. You can't, even if you get 100% of the people who are looking for that topic, you're not increasing the number of people who are looking for that topic, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is a problem for startup companies. So sometimes I meet with startup companies and they're like inventing some brand new topic, right? They're
Oh,
making some new way, like, well, what do you do? Well, we built a tool where you don't buy airline tickets, you buy an option on an airline ticket. And later, if you want to use the option, you can use it. You reserve an airline ticket for $10, and then later you can decide if you want it. Like, wow, I don't
sounds
know.
complicated.
Yeah, it's like, is anyone, no, SEO won't help them,
Right.
not directly, because no
Right.
one's looking for that topic. This is a problem. Inventors, innovators, these are people who really they don't have the same opportunity in SEO.
Right. Absolutely. SEO works the best if there's an existing demand. That's
Exactly.
what SEO is. It
Yep.
needs to be an existing demand. What I tell my clients too, it needs to be an ongoing existing demand, because the challenge then with topic related, you have seasonal a lot, right? Or not a lot, but you have seasonal. So it could be you have in the winter time a huge demand, and then nothing in spring and summer. So you need to have at least one other niche or one other topic which will even this out. If not, you need to make enough money in the wintertime to really then just create content and build relationships in spring and summertime. So,
Right. Or grow your traffic, grow other traffic sources.
absolutely. Hey, I have two questions because the time's running like nothing. Email marketing and social media, right? So I would say social media for sure with the hashtags, you have the keywords in it, you have the SEO part in it. Do you see that in the same way? And how do you see that for email marketing? How much using keywords in the headers is effective?
Oh, for email, you mean in subject lines? Not at all. It's not it doesn't affect the open. So the goal of the subject is to get the visitor to open. The goal of the open is to get the visitor to click. The goal of the visit is to get the visitor to convert. So the subject line is the first on a long chain of desired actions for our visitor. So the only purpose, the subject lines are 100% psychology, 0% keyword focus, unless the keyword is an important part of psychology. Sometimes keyword research can lead you to avoid jargon. It can lead you to use the most common phrase. It can lead you to the most popular word for the topic. But you don't have to, there's no value, not yet. Maybe in the future, there'll be ranking algorithms for our inboxes, I hope. Right? Email is a big problem. I mentioned email is a big problem for me. Content should rank in inboxes. Probably inboxes are so noisy. I'm watching email just flow into my inbox. Yes. But today, no, there's no. It has nothing to do with it. The only thing is to avoid spam. Certain words affect spam ratings, and to maximize the human psychology impact.
Let me ask you something, because I think very logical, right? And that's what you just said. Writing a very creative, sophisticated headline is tough for me. But where I have the challenge with, so now you do email marketing, you send out your email, and you have a snippet or a blurb of your blog post there, and then you link to your blog post, right? In your blog post header, like you should have somewhere a keyword.
Oh, of course.
So how do you now easily bring them from a very sophisticated header in your email marketing that they click and then reading your little snippet or blurb about your blog post, and then bring them into your blog post?
Sure.
Is there a process, or do you have a formula for that? How you use that?
I rewrite the headline for each purpose. I might use a different headline for the subject line, the title tag, and the header, and the tweet, and the social media post. These are all headlines. The meaning of the word headline is very confusing today because headlines appear in many places.
Right.
So you can absolutely just tailor your headline for all of these different uses. So the email subject line version is total psychology. The title tag, more robots than humans. The header text, H1, that's probably 50-50. My formula for headlines is very obvious when you look at my blog. So I use the keyword and then a colon and then a number. So
In general?
Yes.
In general?
Absolutely. So here's an example. I'll just go to my post. The last one didn't do this because there was no keyword, but web content checklist, 21 ways to publish better content. The target phrase is the beginning of the headline.
Mm-hmm.
At 100% prominence. In other words, it's the very beginning. So the target key phrase is web content checklist, and then a colon. So I have a keyword and then a headline, then a colon, and then a number. The number is about human psychology.
Right.
So if you search for web content checklist, I rank number 2 for web content checklist. So whenever you see me use a keyword and a colon, that's
a reason for.
Yep.
Now I know.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. And just go through my blog. You'll see I rank for most of those phrases. Sometimes it depends. Web design versus analytics. Most of these are not very well. Website footer best practices. Website footer design best practices. Blog image best practices. Well, that one's tricky because I put blog image colon best practices. Sometimes I put the keyword on both sides of the colon, but basically, if you ever want to just do look through my blog, I'll explain to you how I targeted every phrase, how I use the phrase, how it ranks.
Yeah, because I want to understand it. Because for me, it makes sense to fulfill somebody else's intent, right?
Sure.
But for sure, I want that they're opening up the emails and then come to the blog post. It's having a formula is just easier in this way to really get from the sophisticated writing style to the more, I wouldn't say technical, but more structured headline then. So, absolutely.
I have, later today, I'm going to post a blog post about writing a content mission statement. And the headline will be something like content mission statements, 3 templates for something. But when you get the newsletter tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock or something, like we send it early in the morning, that newsletter is going to have a different subject line than that header.
We'll look for it.
Yeah, you'll see how I tailor. It's important and it's easy. Tailor the headline for each purpose. Don't make it look radically different, but make sure that it's specific to its purpose. It's sized for its placement. Okay,
let's talk about social media. Social media, I find it relevant if you put your keywords in your hashtags, so like branded keywords and topic-related keywords, service-related keywords. When you do the social media post in Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, do you have keywords in mind too, or you do the same what you do in email marketing?
Well, hashtags, there's no data on this because we don't see the click-through rate from a tweet to something else. But hashtags are good and bad. I mean, you put a hashtag into your tweet because you want it to be discovered, correct?
I want to make it searchable because I tested that. If somebody search for keywords, the keywords in the content and the hashtags come up. And sometimes just with only limited Twitter tweet, there's no way how logical person, can really write it properly. So by adding a hashtag, just makes it easier and I have it searchable.
Okay, so let's say it's searchable, it ranks, someone finds it. What if they click on your hashtag?
Then they see everybody else's keyword about it.
Yeah. So be careful. It's a gamble.
Mm-hmm.
The gamble is that your increase in visibility will outweigh the decrease in click-through rates.
Mm-hmm.
So
I understand what you're saying. So at the end, if I use a hashtag like keywords, if somebody's looking for it, I come up, but everybody else who uses the hashtag keywords comes up too.
Sure. Yeah. It does. It's not a gift. It's a risk. It's a calculated risk. So
you don't use any hashtags in your social media?
No, I do. I use a few very specific hashtags to connect with new audiences. If I'm trying to connect with a new audience, that's not. There's specific times. I use event hashtags whenever I do events, and I do lots of in-person events, which I love.
So
it's my favorite.
Hashtags.
Yeah. So the event hashtag. I use the hashtag content marketing because I know that the people who use the content marketing hashtag are often researchers who are going for deeper content. And I believe that I can attract the click to my site more than I can, lose the click to the exit. Also, there are blogs that are analyzing the content marketing hashtag and building lists of people who use that hashtag. I've made these lists several times. It's an unusual hashtag because there's a company called On Analytica, and they make this list of like the top 100 content marketers on Twitter. That's just based on who uses the hashtag. So it's a strategic purpose, right? In that case, because there are blogs that build lists of people who use that specific hashtag. If I'm publishing something that I'm trying to make it more found, like about web accessibility or web design or mobile responsive design, there's very specific hashtags for this. Hashtag do good. I put do good on any philanthropic purpose. But mostly, if you want more visibility in your tweet, it's much more important to put a mention than put a hashtag. Mention someone who's likely to share it.
So Twitter handle in Twitter or like Google Plus?
Yep. I mentioned specific people. So I'll share an article on this topic. Let me find.
Okay. I just tweeted you.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I will.
Yeah, because like from my logical perspective, it made sense to use these, but I don't want to give visibility then to everybody. So then it makes more sense to use branded hashtags. Yeah.
Well, I just put a link in the chat. So what you can do is to find super targeted people on Twitter. So let's say, in this example on this blog post, I wrote an article that was about zombies and SEO. Uh-huh. So who wants to read this blog post? People who love zombies and love SEO, right?
Right.
So I go into a Twitter search tool and I put in zombie and SEO, and I found 245 people who have zombie,
and SEO.
Yeah, in their bio.
Funny. In their bio.
So now when I share it, I put CC for carbon copy, and then one or two of these people. When they see that, they love it. They're super happy, right? They're very grateful. They read it, they click on it, they share it, they comment, they favorite, they share it on another network. Why? Because they are the perfect audience for this article.
So you create believers. That's what you do.
Yeah, I find the overlap between the topic and the theme, SEO and zombies, or the overlap between two topics.
Or like you could use the same with animal lovers, whatever. So at the end, you combine what people search for and also what it's not a hobby. What is it? Well, how would you say that in English? Is what they like, interest.
Yeah. It could be an interest.
Passion. Or things like that. Yeah, you could, because then you could do it with other things too. Like you could do it with cake or chocolate. So whatever connects both, whatever people, or cats. Many people like cats.
Yeah. Or it's whatever the article was about. So if the article was about how, managing a marketing team is like herding cats. You find people who have cats and marketing in their bio, and you share it when you mention it with them.
That's a great idea.
Or you can connect it with people that cover the two topics. So if I write an article about how social media affects SEO, I find people with social media and SEO in their bio. So this is a simple way to use Twitter and mentions to get more traffic to a post. And it's easy and it's fun and it's fast. The better way, but it's simple and it's just a little trick. The better way to use this is to build lists of people and gradually become close friends with them.
Yeah.
So the right thing to use this. So when you search for this tool, so let's say I'm writing an article. Let's say I want to rank number 1 in the long term for Orlando SEO. I need to find people who write about SEO and people who write about Orlando. So I use the Twitter search tools to find not SEO and zombies, but SEO and blogger. Build lists of bloggers in your niche. Talk to them, mention them, share them, comment on them. That's how you end up with a big network, and that network is what creates the links. The links create the rank creates the traffic creates the leads.
I see, and so that's really the graphic you sent me, I think, a few weeks ago, where everything starts with the audience.
Yep, it starts with that research, that influencer marketing. So that trick I just showed you in that link, that's just a simple way to get more traffic. But how does social media affect SEO? This is the real trick. This is the ultimate trick. This is the best, most valuable thing that I know. It's how to use social media. This article has a video.
Okay.
And it explains how to use social media to rank higher. It's about networking. It's all about networking. So everybody on this blab, I'd be happy to connect with all of you on LinkedIn. Connect with me. I'm not using Twitter. I'm not using Facebook much, but we should all be connecting with each other, right? Click the number 12 there and follow everyone. I'm following you all. Follow each other. Connect with each other. Collaborate with each other. Meet people who share your interests. Include them on an article. Ask them for a quote. You know, when you write articles, just ask other people to contribute quotes. People love that. That makes them so happy. And it's good for your article. And it builds your network.
Yeah, I love that. You have a blog post about that. I write you a blog post about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love doing that. It's content optimized for search includes keywords. Content optimized for social includes people. So put lots of people. Yeah, put lots of people in your articles.
So at the end, coming back to, because I know you have only 45 minutes and we're already over time. So coming back to, so the value of SEO in inbound marketing is really to connect the search with the social with the audience. That's really what the three main pillars of your online presence should be. It should be searchable. You should have demand for what you write about. If not, it's not really a niche and you're really not existing. But you need to have an audience looking for you, willing to connect with you, and you need to be social enough, not just hide on your website, create content, but never go out and really connect with the people, invite them to come and give them the chance to explore you, give you backlinks.
Whatever you want, you have to give it first. If you want people to link to you, you should be linking to other people.
That.
Yeah. Anything that you want. If you want LinkedIn recommendations, write some LinkedIn recommendations. If you want followers, follow people. If you want comments, comment on people's things. If you want people to link to you, you should be linking to them. You should be collaborating. We should all make our content way more collaborative. Just the people on this blab could drive lots of benefits to each other. Just by sharing, commenting, linking, mentioning, quoting.
And I tell you honestly, as I met you in a blog before, and I came to 2 of your blogs and read your blog post and followed you on LinkedIn, and I just love your content. And a friend of mine said, he does SEO. Why would you want to connect with him? Why would you want to follow him? And I said, because I want to learn from him. He is amazing. And
oh, thank you.
Oh no, I wanted to understand this part, what you shared with me today. And I'm so grateful that you did, because I want to get it. I believe we all have a gift. We have a purpose of being online. In our business, we want to empower, but there's no way how you can empower anybody if you're not visible, if nobody knows you exist, if people don't like you or don't see you as an authority or don't trust you. And really, to understand this is a mindset shift. So thank you. You really shifted my mindset a lot today.
My pleasure. I think we ended up getting to the most important message, and I'm thinking about it differently just in this conversation. It's really, even though SEO seems like it's all about robots and Google and an algorithm, it might be the most human of all types of marketing. It's more social than social media. If people who do it well, they are always just connecting with people all the time, right? Just like we did here. So I'm grateful for this time. This was great. I would happily do this with you again. I hope that everyone here takes the chance to connect, right? Follow each other here on Blab. Look for each other. I'm going to be looking for you guys offline on Twitter. And let's do this again.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that. I love you. I love how human you are and so much integrity you have. And I would love to do it
thanks,
again.
Dagmar. Well,
thank you very much.
We'll keep doing this. Okay.
Yeah, we would. And thank you everybody for listening and watching and spending your time with us. It's almost an hour. I'm very grateful for everybody who's here and is willing to grow and to learn and do something good.
I hope to see you all on LinkedIn or anywhere that you'd like to connect.
Great. Thank you so much,
Dagmar.
Andy.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.